Hey, how's it going? My name's Ilya, and today I want to talk about some recent news about the Epic Game Store. So if you don't know, the Epic Game Store is Epic, the creators of Unreal Engine, and if you don't know what that is, that's the game engine that Fortnite and tons of other games, but Fortnite being the big one right now, that powers that. And they announced that they will be releasing games on their game store. That may be old, so apologize if that's inaccurate. But some big news about that was that they said that the revenue split between the publisher and them would be less than Steam. So Steam currently has as a 70-30 split, so if I made a game, I would get 70% and Steam would get 30% of the sale. Epic Games Store will be 88-12, so if I made a game, I would get 88 and they would get 12. And so I read an interview with Tim Sweeney, who's one of the brilliant people at Epic, and he was saying that they did through Fortnite. They kind of figured out how much things cost, such as like the cost per transaction and the infrastructure and maintaining that, and they found that they could still make money at 12%. So I thought this was really interesting. It's important because already there's been a shift of on PC of publishers having their own platform. So there's Battle.net, Origin, Ubisoft has one. Let's see who else. Well, okay, so those are the ones I can think of off the top of my head. But there's been an increasing. Bethesda is a new one. There's been an increasing number of these game launchers, and the reason is because they found it was better for them to make that than have it on Steam. I'm gonna go on Excel. I know that doesn't sound exciting, but just mess around with some numbers and show kind of like the difference it can make. Okay, so here I have a small table. Right here I have Steam, the percentage, just an easy example of number of copies, the game price, and how much revenue. So if on Steam, if you sold 100 copies of a $60 game, they would get 42, they being the publisher of that game, $4,200, versus on the Epic Game Store you'd get $5,200. So that's a pretty good amount difference in just a small sample size. So if I change it from 100 to 1 million, so I'd be 42 million or 52 million. So that's a big difference. That's over $10 million loss. Or I guess $10 million to be gained. So that's just one quick example of that. Okay, right here I have another table that shows that how many less copies you would need to still make money. So with the example of the $60 game, you need to, I did some quick algebra beforehand, but basically you need to sell 80 copies to make about the same revenue. So obviously the Epic Game Store being less known, maybe less people will buy the game. So, but that's still a good amount. Obviously it's 18%, but just as a number, actually seeing the number 20 less copies in this example to still be as profitable.
So you can multiply that up to 1,000,000 versus 800,000, or however big you want to get. So I think the most interesting aspect of this is the price. So I'm going to do some manipulation here, but everyone wants cheaper games, so you can buy more games, right? So, and I have no idea if they would ever do this, but if you go to game price, and if I change that down to 55, so everything else is the same percentage, same number of copies. So if this game was $55, they would still make more money on the Epic Games Store than on Steam. If it was $50, it's still more. Let's go down to $48, and they would still make slightly more revenue than on Steam. So I have no idea if that would happen. It probably wouldn't happen, but it's an interesting theory. It makes it more exciting as someone who consumes games and plays a lot of games, that we may be able to get games for cheaper. Now, we've been saying that for a while, but as much as some people don't like it, we're getting closer and closer to digital future. So games put on the store may not even be physical. So there's no retailer who could get mad at you because it's not even undercutting them in the store. So I hope this is interesting. I like this kind of stuff. It makes it exciting to be in games. We want publishers and big stakeholders in games fighting for our attention and business. So thanks for watching.